Is the Iran war coming to a close? Is silver pumping? Is gold going to pump next? Guys, we're going to be talking about all of that in today's video because the financial markets are liking some of the breaking news that is occurring right now. You can see here, silver has went from about $72 all the way up to $77. The same deal has happened with gold's been rallying quite strongly in the last 24, 48 hours. And in today's video, guys, we're going to run through exactly what's happened. So what's the latest with the Iran conflict? What do I think's actually going to happen? We're also going to be talking about China, because China seems to be one of the biggest winners out of this conflict. And where is the chessboard now for the United States? So what happens next if this thing is actually over? And where is there a race to next? What is everyone piling into in terms of metals and special things like that? Because the race is still on. And I think these markets are potentially going to boom once again. So if you guys enjoy the update, just like the video and let's get straight into it. So look, the big news is you know, we spoke about who would potentially chicken out of this scenario recently. We said, you know, will it be Iran? Will it be the USA that chickens out? And it does look like the USA is kind of losing its will to fight in this thing. So we had this big announcement come out of Trump just recently. He says, assuming Iran agrees to give what has been agreed to, which is perhaps a big assumption, the already legendary Epic Fury will be at an end, and the highly effective blockade will allow the Hormuz Strait to be open to all, including Iran. If they don't agree, the bombing starts, and it will be, sadly, at a much higher level and intensity than it was before. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And this is one tweet, but we've also seen other tweets where Trump is potentially going down the de-escalation route. He's losing interest in fighting this war. Remember, because the Iranians didn't really buy Trump's bluffs, and you know, this could have been a big bluff, this recent move. The Iranians are basically, they've come out of this pretty strong, I would say, at the moment. So Iran in control. The Strait of Hormuz is still at a bit of a trickle, but we have to figure out kind of where this all goes next. So Trump is still threatening to bomb, you know, Iran, but at the moment it does seem to be on the de-escalation path, and this is why S&P 500 had a massive rally just recently. It's been pumping anyway, but that's been looking very good. And at the same time, you know, from a geopolitical point of view, you know, this has been a blunder. Let's be honest about this. This has not went well for the USA. This whole maneuver to try and knock off Iran, it's actually backfired. And remember, if you kind of wind back the clock, you know, 3 months ago or 4 months ago, remember the USA had so much control and influence in the region, and now that is, you know, effectively, it's about to get lost. It's about to lose, and it's about to, you know, lose the influence right there based off this conflict. And Iran has come out. This guy with his memes over on X, the Parliament Speaker of Iran, has said right here, Operation Trust Me Bro failed. Now back to routine with Operation Falcius. I don't know how you pronounce that word, but he's mocking Trump, right? He's mocking the operation. And we've also seen as well, China has been a huge winner out of this conflict. So you can see right here from Mario, one sharp truth about China, it's not building a new American empire. They're watching a collapse. Former UK Cabinet Minister Rory Stewart. China isn't really setting itself up to be a new US. It doesn't have ambitions to have bases through Europe or huge military installations in the Middle East. Beijing doesn't need to win. They just need Washington to keep losing. And yes, so Washington has been losing. So this recent conflict, if this is the end and Trump walks away from this, obviously a huge loss right there. And at the same time, China has continued to supply drones to Iran and Russia despite US sanctions. So the US, you know, sanction threat and actions is just not having the same type of impact anymore. And you can see right here, they're actually looking for a framework without the US being involved. So additionally, per the Chinese release, China called on Gulf nations to enact their own regional security framework, presumably bereft of US influence, co-signing past Iranian calls to enact a regional security, economic, and trade framework without the involvement of outside state actors. And you can see right here, this is the Iranian foreign minister. He says, I held constructive talks in Beijing with Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Both sides reaffirmed Iran's right to safeguard national sovereignty and national dignity. The Iranian side appreciates the 4-point proposal put forward by the Chinese side on upholding and promising regional peace and stability. The Iranian side trusts the Chinese side and expects the Chinese side to continue playing a positive role in promoting peace and stopping war, and supports the establishment of a new post-war regional architecture that can modify development and security. And it's absolutely huge. So we might be potentially seeing the changing face of the Middle East, and it's not going to be like it was before. So this could be the dawn of a new day. And one thing that is going to be true, right? So we are seeing the financial markets are really enjoying the end of this war. The financial markets want to see trade go back up. But there's still going to be a very hot race, I would say, for the world's kind of metal supplies, commodities, all that important stuff. And we're already seeing inklings of that in Australia with this recent article, Australia, Japan strengthening critical minerals ties. And these governments are basically, it's going to be a race to collect all the minerals on the planet effectively between China and I would say the rest of the US alliance, like UK, Australia, Europe, right? So that is something that is people should consider. And you can see some of these companies are going to be going to the moon, right? So Australia's Linus Corp, the world's largest producer of rare earths outside of China. Other projects that might be a big beneficiary of this, or companies, Alcoa, Magnesium, Tivan, the Copy Critical Minerals Project, Adria Resources right here. And this is coming off the back end of basically the US, Australia and Japan getting together for $1.67 billion investment into this. And this is a reflection that, this race for metals and, gold, silver, copper, I think it's only going to heat up going into the future. So one chapter might be closing, but a new one might be opening up. And one thing you have to also understand, I mean, you guys, if you're a subscriber of this channel, you would know this. US national debt, 39.2 trillion, right? So one thing that is guaranteed, all these governments, they continue to print out money, debase the currency. And where does the money go? The money generally goes into the stock market, or it could potentially go into gold and silver, metals, commodities. We actually are seeing a massive commodity spike as well. So commodity inflation is surging. The Bloomberg Commodity Index is up 141 points, the highest since February 2013. And look, this is got everything to do with money printing and just poor economic geopolitics at the moment. But it's just, creating a huge amount of gains for people who are investing into these sectors, right? Agriculture up, precious metals surging, industrial metals up as well. So I would have to say right now, guys, it's looking interesting, and we might be in for a giga surge. So again, S&P 500 record all-time highs. Gold and silver, I think they're looking quite bullish, and they could be running back up to their previous highs as well in the future. So it's not just going to shoot up in one day, but potentially, you look at these trends, silver working really nicely right there. And that's going to be the same deal with gold as well. So gold, refusing to really dip a huge amount. And, the trend is looking very, very bullish right now for gold, silver. And copper is going to be in high demand as well. Big shortages, trouble with mining copper. So I reckon, look, at the moment, some good news, and the world is going to get more and more competitive between China and the USA. So that is probably the next big one. But, we won't count out the Iran war fully yet. We'll see exactly what happens. But, they're the signs we are getting from the market today that Operation Epic Fury is coming to an end. And guys, that's a big update. If you enjoyed it, like the video. Appreciate you tuning in. Go have a great rest of the day. See you in the next one.